Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Transplant Talk with Shonda, our Thursday edition. I'm excited and delighted that everyone has come to see another episode of Transplant Talk. And I have to tell you that this episode is real special because my guests, they're family. All right, their family. We have known them, or they've been a part of the Rollins family for a few years. Yeah, for a few years. I won't tell my age right now, but they knew me very very early in the early '90s. So we definitely our family very close friends, and especially with my parents. And I'm just excited and honored that they decided to come here today again because this is part two because they were a part of Transplant Talk with Shonda virtual telethon. So I had to have them come back, and I'm just happy that they're here. So I'm excited. I've been excited all day just to be able to do this interview again. And I want to say hello, hello, hello to my students at First Coast High School. Hey, y'all. Some of them let me know that Miss Larimore, we are watching your show. We're supporting you. And I'm super excited for that. And I just want everyone to remember why I started Transplant Talk with Shonda, and it is to educate, bring awareness, especially in a multicultural community, and to also register 1,000 people to become organ donors in honor of Leonard Larimore, my late husband. And so that's why it was created. And then also, as Emmett in California put it so perfectly. He said, "You are the force behind the voices of the transplant community." So to be able to get those words from someone so awesome, such as Emmett in California, I will forever, forever be grateful. And just recently, we had one more person in my family to become an organ donor because they just recently did their driver's license. So, yay to my family for believing and trusting and knowing that it is the best thing that you could do. I also wanted to let everyone know that October is Liver Awareness Month. Okay. So for all of you that have had a liver transplant, I still have one more week. So if you would like to be able to tell your story on, maybe your liver transplant, I would love to have you on the show, even if it's for November. We're going to give thanks for your blessing in receiving a liver transplant. So, guys, without any further ado, I just had to take a little trip down south to Delray Beach, Florida. All right. And we're going to meet the Butlers, Lula and Leonard Butler. Okay, again, guys, we're going to welcome them to the show. Again, this is family, so treat them nice. Please make sure that you share this video. And you can also find us on Facebook with Save 1000 Lives. You can also find us on YouTube, Transplant Talk. Please subscribe, click that bell, and wait for the notifications. And I will greatly appreciate it. Again, share. If you are watching for the first time and you are an organ donor, would you mind putting a heart, a blue heart, or a green heart in the comments? Guys, and let me see who's here. Everyone say hello if you are on the line with me. So, again, guys, without any further ado, let's welcome Mr. and Mrs. Butler. Hello. Hold on. Hello, Butler family.
Hello.
I just wanted to make sure I unmuted you. How are you all doing this evening?
We're doing good.
Doing good.
Awesome. Thank you again for coming back,
Yeah.
a second time with Transplant Talk. I'm honored to get first times, but when I get second times, I'm even more excited
Mhm.
for our viewers to again hear your story. And just understand everyone has trials and tribulations, and everybody has a story to tell. And
Absolutely.
I'm just delighted you all are you're here. I'm delighted so that the new guest can get to know who you are. So if you all didn't know, Leonard Butler is a kidney recipient. And but I want Mr. Butler to tell us what was life like before having to find out that you needed a kidney.
Hmm. Well, it was before I needed a kidney. It was
No, no.
2007. Okay, and
Okay.
excuse me for my pause. I'm trying to think.
I'm
Um,
fine.
Before I became sick,
Okay.
I was employed with Homeland Security, inspecting cargo for explosives and incinerators. Beyond that, I worked at IBM. I worked as a roofer, so I was fairly active in everything that I did. A
Okay.
deaconette, my church, the church that your father pastored for
Yes.
about 16 years. Okay.
Yes.
And so it was fairly active. I've got four daughters, and so I was involved in their lives and so forth.
Mhm.
After 2007, I began to ache, did not know why, and so forth. And it was revealed through many testings that I had contracted Wegener granulomatosis. And you can research that. And it is a blood disorder that affects your blood system within your body. So you
Okay.
think about all of the organs that your body depends upon for blood, and that was it. Everything began to shut down. I was in constant pain. In
Oh.
order to go to work, I used extra strength Tylenol at work. And then when I came home, I used, um, what is the uh, Oxycontin. And
Okay.
so I could not use Oxycontin at work. So I
Yes.
would come home, I would take Oxycontin to get some rest, get up, go to work, take extra strength Tylenol. That went on for what, July, August, September, October. So well, the beginning of October. So 3 months I was in just severe, constant pain,
Wow.
not knowing that my body was trying to tell me. Um, and sometimes when that happens, you are so subjected to the pain that you are not objective in what is actually going on. That's why loved ones are so important because they can observe the difference, what's going on in your life.
Right.
So,
Right.
long story short, 2007, I went into the hospital, and that is when they determined the granulomatosis had taken out my kidneys. They
Okay.
told me that I had 48 hours to live if they did not give me a certain procedure. They also explained that the procedure was dangerous and that the procedure could kill me. And so it was not a difficult decision for me because all of my life has been in the hand of God.
Amen.
And so I knew that I would do the treatment,
Mhm.
which started with emergency kidney transplant. And that went on for 8 years. Now, in a dialysis of a kidney, when your kidneys is failed, uh, there are two methods, peritoneal
Mhm.
and hemodialysis. blood dialysis.
Mhm.
They tried to have me do the peritoneal, which is putting a bag um, into your stomach,
Mhm.
and the theory is that it's filled with sugar water, saline,
Saline.
and the
Okay.
saline would draw the impurities out of your body into the bag. Then you would empty the bag, and this was a 3 times a day process.
Oh.
I did that for 3 months, and they were about to bring in a machine that while you slept, it would change the materials out.
Mhm.
Um, Good saline, well, bad saline out, good saline in.
Okay.
But a week before that, my lungs, my heart filled with fluid. And therefore, I had to let my wife know that I could not breathe. And they did an emergency procedure on me and started me back on the hemodialysis.
Dialysis.
That all it almost killed him.
Yeah.
It did.
And the
Okay.
thing was that
She wants to say something.
Yeah, I have a few questions, most definitely.
okay,
Um, okay. How rare how rare is this blood disease that you were diagnosed with? How rare is it?
very very rare. And the thing is that it is more rare to black men than to anyone else. Um, in 2007, the doctor said that they had not seen a case like this ever. And it was in 1991 since they had seen one in
Okay.
a white man. To see one in a black man, an old black man,
Oh,
was extremely uh, rare.
rare.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
so that was the beginning of being poked and prod for 2 years as
Mm.
to how did it come about. And
Okay.
what was said is that they do not know where it comes from. They do not know the cause of it, and there is not a cure for
Oh, wow.
it.
Okay. So
Mhm.
here's my next question, Mrs. Butler, because I always love talking to the caregivers because I know that was a lot. So how did you handle it? I know we have faith in God, but we are also human and we know he's here. You know, he's still here. But in that moment of him being so fragile and in that state, in that condition that he was in, how did you handle that?
It was very difficult because I was working full time with the city of Delray Beach. I
Mhm.
was a director of a big department, and so I spent a lot of time um, with my job. Okay, I loved it, and we did very well. And the day that he was put into the hospital, I was in Pittsburgh. Had taken 12 people there to look at a school that we might want to do. Okay, and so it's been that kind of thing. And but what I did I had very good support at my job. My boss was very good for me, and so I ended up having, he was in the hospital for 30, 40 days at a time when he would go in. And I would go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to my job at 9, come back at 5, and stay until 10 o'clock at night. That's how I did it. And we have family though, but everybody, all four of my daughters, they just said, "What can I do?" And everybody took some part of it so that I could still work because I needed to
Right.
work. Okay,
Right.
uh,
Listen,
and we got through it as a family.
as a family, yes,
Hmm.
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have, my family. So,
Hmm.
that rotation of
Mhm.
work, hospital, home, work, hospital, home,
Yes.
and having children,
Mhm.
or having a teenager at that time going to
Mhm.
school, just trying to find the balance of
Yeah.
Mhm.
work, take your husband.
Yes.
Mhm.
um
Absolutely.
it will definitely take a toll,
Mhm.
on you. But look how beautiful you are. Right now
Yeah.
you
I,
just
I just learned how to do it. I put myself in a place of what would he do for me,
right,
and that's how
right.
we did it. But I had good son-in-laws. They would come and do his hair. He cut his hair and all this stuff. They take him out. They did well, and they still doing that stuff. So
Wow. Right. And now we're in 2020 and all of this was happening
mhm,
in 2007.
2007.
And the hospital, the long hospital stays, I understand, because I was there for almost 6.5 months just doing that rotation.
Mm-hmm,
And so to be able to endure that was
hmm.
definitely challenging. And some days you just tired. You just pooped.
Some days
Yeah.
You
you're
know.
really tired and you just kind of coming in. And I didn't. I still don't know how I did it. I
Mm,
really don't. I really
yes.
don't. I
Right.
just don't know how I was at that hospital doing my job and taking care of the house. I
Right.
just didn't know how to do it. But I
You
did
know,
it. Uh,
somehow we super women.
Yeah.
We that W stand for superwoman,
Yes.
on our
Yes.
chest, because
Mm-hmm.
I can say this, everyone could not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone could not do it. So again, you are a shero. I'm gonna make some shero shirts, because the caregivers, they if it wasn't for the caregivers being so loving,
Mm-hmm.
and just loving on our spouses, and wanting them to pull through, which gives
Mm-hmm.
them hope,
Right.
to be here.
Mm-hmm.
That is just phenomenal. That most people walk right on out. They'll walk right out,
It says
walk
too
away.
much. Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
And in December you all will be married how long?
50 years.
50 years.
50.
Yeah.
50. You all are
50.
so close to my parents, because in January
Yeah,
they'll
I
be
know.
married 50 years.
I know.
Wow. See, I see why y'all good friends. I see why y'all
Yeah,
good
yeah.
friends.
We got the same
December,
thing going
January.
on.
Yes, yes. Hey,
The
mom. Hi,
birthday.
dad. I don't know if y'all watching, but hi. um,
Hmm.
so I know you mentioned your daughters. I have to show you this fancy picture of the Butler family. As he said, they have four beautiful daughters, and I just want to show the picture. So this is the Butler family, and with their four beautiful daughters, and thank God for them, that they
Yes.
were there to be there for you. And I don't want to miss out on the grandchildren. How many grands do we have?
We have
Eight, 8 grands,
8 grands and we
Okay.
have
5
5 great
great grands,
grandchildren.
Great. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, we don't have great grandchildren. Wait, yes, we do. We have
3,
one.
yeah,
We
3
have one.
boys and 2 girls.
That's right.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
see how lovely.
I love the great grands.
Lovely, lovely. And,
Yeah.
and again, because someone said yes,
Yes.
the Butlers get to see this generation, not
Mm-hmm.
just grandkids, but great grandkids. And
Yes.
how
Right.
beautiful is that? Because saved, or someone said yes, and someone saved his life, and
Yes,
he's
there
here
was the
today.
one time that
Yeah.
I thought had lost him. He
Hmm.
had started having some real pains in his back and whatever. By the time we took him to the hospital, he had blood clots. And so they told me to go into the room and have my last conversation with him. So I go in and I said to him, I said, well, what the doctor said. And he said, they don't know what they're talking about.
Well, okay. Shut it
Our
down.
And he said, don't pay no attention to that. Just sit down right there. Sit down right there. I'm
Oh,
gonna be. And he was. He was there for a
wow.
long time,
Right.
but he came out of it. Yes.
Wow. Ah,
Yes.
and again, to the audience, I always stress the importance of knowing your family history.
Mm-hmm.
But this, however, was not a part of your family history, none
No,
whatsoever.
no.
None. So
Mm-mm,
sometimes it hits you out of the blue, you
mm-mm,
know. Again, I can relate to my older sister having lupus, having breast cancer.
mm-hmm,
Lupus was running on my dad's side of the family, but it
mm-hmm,
wasn't, you know, directly affecting us, but it was down, the
mm-hmm,
bloodline. But breast cancer, all of that stuff was just so new to us. And
mm-hmm.
but my sister's still here, and she's
Oh
still a
yeah,
fighter. And it's
Fastly too.
October, right? And October is also breast cancer awareness, and my
Mm-hmm,
sister is a survivor.
mm-hmm.
So I always try to encourage people to, you know, if it doesn't come, you know, that's a wonderful thing, but we should be prepared and know. And
Yeah.
from this point on in our families, we have to look at when you go to the doctor, what runs in your family. So
That's
I
right.
have to put that down now that yes,
Mm-hmm,
lupus runs in the family. Yes, breast
mm-hmm,
cancer runs in the family. So,
mm-hmm.
it's so very important. And I want to make mention of the youngest daughter because,
Elizabeth. Mm-hmm.
yes, Elizabeth, I understand that she was also very instrumental with helping you all as well. What did
That's
Miss
right.
Elizabeth do?
She studied. She studied. She has two people in her. Um, One is a very good friend. She's a doctor, and she has a cousin that's a doctor, and they taught her how to look at
Ask
this, ask
questions.
questions, and
Hmm.
she would be on the phone with them, and she's almost like a doctor. Now,
Okay.
yes, and
Come on,
she's the one
Elizabeth.
person that can make him do what he's supposed to do.
Oh,
Because
okay.
when you start having some good days, then you think you can go do something else.
Correct, correct.
So we call Liz when we need to put him back in the way.
Get it back together, Daddy.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
yeah,
My favorite word from my daddy is listen, Linda. And he know when I say that, he's like, oh my God, she's saying Linda. So it's like, Daddy, listen to me. Okay,
that's right.
Linda,
That's
listen.
right.
So
That's
let's
right.
move forward because let's tell the audience, what happened when you got the call that that you had a donor, that you had you was going to receive your kidney.
Oh my God, that that night we cried like I don't know what because
she cried.
she cried. Yes, because the dialysis was really hard sometimes for him, and I knew it was hurting him, and I couldn't hardly handle that piece, and it was 3 times a week, and he would be okay the next day, but the day he's doing it, he looks like I don't know what. So so when they called, the first call, it they didn't have it, so somebody else got it. Okay, then they called a week or 2 week later, 2 weeks
Yeah.
later. Okay, and they called, and we had everything ready. So we were ready to go, and we did, and it was a very good time. They because they know what they're doing, and I spent um, 2 weeks in his bed in the hospital. I did,
In the
just
room.
in the room with him,
Okay.
yes, because
Okay.
I wanted to make sure everything is right, and I don't want to be out someplace and you call me. So I
Right.
stayed there.
Right.
Yes,
Stay right
yes, I
there.
did.
Oh my goodness.
And
And what year was
it's
that?
that was 2015,
Okay. Oh wow.
Halloween Day.
October
Well,
31st.
actually, the day before Halloween, I
Mhm.
received the kidney Halloween morning at 10 o'clock.
Hmm.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, did you know if it was a living
The donor?
donor? Uh-huh.
No,
No.
no, it wasn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did find out that the person was 38 years old,
Okay.
and he died as a heart attack.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
it's when you realize, Malcolm,
Yeah. Yeah.
Malcolm is on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when that person died,
Mhm.
that I might receive a kidney.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Jesus died
Yeah.
that we might receive life.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
when I was being released, they had done lots of study as to how to be successful with a transplant. And I guess what they have learned over the years, not just kidney transplant, liver, heart, and so
Mhm.
forth,
Mhm.
that they let you out with medication.
Right.
And I never forget the instruction was these two medications you take
Mhm.
every day, twice a day, for
Mhm.
the rest of your life.
Mhm.
As if you don't, your body will
Absolutely.
reject
Right.
the kidney.
Correct.
And so that's what I try to do
You try to
is
follow.
eat.
He follows
Mhm.
what
That's
they
it.
tell him to do.
That's
He's
it.
very good with that.
You
Mhm.
know.
Because I'm sure we don't want Elizabeth on you. So
That's right.
we make sure that Elizabeth knows.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, my mother says, "Hello, friends."
Yeah, that's
Hello.
right.
And of course she,
She's looking at me.
yes, of course she is. That's
That's
my
right.
mama.
Uh-huh.
Do you all have plans to maybe meet the donor family, or have you all tried to connect to them?
Mm.
Uh, no. Again, the donor deceased. Okay,
Hmm. Right.
and so they did not give us any
Information
further
about him. Yeah.
information about
Mhm.
who he was.
Okay.
I did make sure that it was a man.
Okay. That you friends with my daddy for real. You
Yeah.
really are. you, you are friends with Major Rollins. I
Yes.
tell you, because he would try to throw a joke in there as well. That
Laughter is the key to life.
Yeah.
yes,
You stop
yes.
laughing.
Yeah, and stop
Yeah.
living really. You always have to laugh.
Yeah.
But I do know, well, I know y'all made that contact, but and sometimes the family would not want to be contacted.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that's on an individual basis to
Mhm.
Yes.
see if you want to be able to try to
Hmm.
reach out to the family.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I think I would want to just be able to know and thank the family
Right.
for
Yeah.
allowing them. Either he had to be an organ donor, and or they allowed that person
Yeah.
to be an organ donor.
Yes.
So with our current country's situation, our
Mhm.
status with COVID-19,
Hmm.
how are you protecting yourself and just staying safe amongst COVID, because we all know that your immune system is compromised,
Right.
Mhm.
and
Right.
you've had it for 5 years now with no rejection and no
Hmm.
problems. How are you protecting yourself with COVID-19?
Well, we did have a head start. Okay, as
Okay.
to when you're in large groups and whatnot, protect yourself with masks. Okay,
Mhm.
so it was a little difficult doing that in church. Okay,
Mhm.
uh, because everybody loves to hug you and kiss you and the whole 9 yards. But now we have learned, and so we have very few friends who come to the house. Okay, only very close friends like the Rollins, and we let them visit with us for as long as they like. But our children,
Our children, but we
my,
we are home a lot because we
Okay.
understand what he has, and because they told me right up front when it started, they said you can't do what he's been doing. He
Right.
needs to be home because if he gets the virus,
Mhm.
he will not live.
survive.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
right, right.
So
So,
I'm I keep him home.
All right, right, right. I totally understand that it'll be a
I
bolt
try.
on the door. Like,
I try to keep her home.
yes, yeah. And that's
I'm home a lot,
yeah.
but he likes to slip out. If
All
I
right.
if I go
I
to
had a doctor's appointment today. I had to go to my doctor's
oh no
appointment.
no not
I
that
had.
part, not that part.
Oh,
You're allowed to go to the doctor. It's the other places
Yes,
you
he can
can't
do that.
go.
thank you.
Right. That is fine. And it's equally as difficult being in a school setting. Um, my old students, since I didn't get a chance to finish the school year with them, every day they pass my class, they just try to come back in and they want a hug. And I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
to do this
yeah.
or we have to do an elbow,
Mhm,
because I say I have to be protective. I have older parents,
Mhm.
mhm.
and I have a sister that's getting ready to have twins. Oh my God, I'm
Oh
super
yeah,
excited about that. And,
Mhm.
have some more grandchildren.
yeah.
But, I just want, people to know, yes, you have to stay safe. I have friends that have
Mhm,
had COVID-19. We have a family member that have, COVID-19 because of the job, because of what,
Yeah.
we're doing. Even teachers,
mhm.
to
Mhm.
that have been exposed,
Yeah.
and that is a lot. And I'm always on pins and needles, like, Lord, please,
Yes.
don't let anything happen,
Mhm,
because I'm a widow. I don't have time.
mhm,
Uh, I don't have time. I don't want to be by myself. I know I have my daughters, but
mhm.
I don't want to put them at risk. So,
Right.
Right.
that is just my wish, that,
Yeah.
everybody
Yes.
stays safe.
So because of that, we won't have a big party for our 50th anniversary. We'll just do
Or
something in the house.
or for her birthday.
Or we're not going to have a big thing for
Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving now and stuff like
Christmas.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
But we are thankful. I
Yes.
think that is the
absolutely.
I think that is the crux of the matter is that you have to look at who you are and where you are
Mhm.
Right,
and
right,
what God has given to us.
right,
You
right.
know, as you
Absolutely.
speak of people being donors,
Hmm.
what Jesus told us, well, we all can't be famous, but we can all be great.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
so by being a donor, you can give life to
Absolutely.
others,
Absolutely.
and
Hmm.
yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah,
And I could not have stated that any better if I said it myself. But because you've been doing the deacon and the pastor thing for a while, so you have that gift, and I'm just again I'm so grateful for you all, telling your story. And guys, again, this is what it looks like for someone to say yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to let somebody else, live, let their life continue so that they can,
yes,
see
yes,
their family. So again, I ask you all, just think about becoming an organ donor. I promise you, nobody's coming after your organs right now. Okay. Um, nobody's coming after your organs right now.
Mhm.
We're just saying that when and or if the
Mhm.
time comes, you know, for you to be an organ donor. If someone asks you to become an organ donor, that you would say yes, because now they have their children, they have
Mhm.
grandchildren, they have
Yes.
great grandchildren.
yeah,
So, we just ask you to, just strongly consider donatelifeflorida.org, or go to register me,
Mhm.
and become an organ donor. If you are in out of Florida, you definitely can go to registerme.org and become an organ donor. And again, thank you all so much. I'm just looking at the people's comments, saying amen. And my mother says, yes, I am. I wouldn't miss it at all. and my daughter saying, that was beautiful.
That's
And
okay,
yeah,
me
and
too.
then prayers. And I'm pretty sure Malcolm saying superwoman, because he have a superwoman as well after he
Oh,
received his heart transplant, Miss
right,
Jackie.
yeah,
So
oh,
I promise you, I couldn't. I don't know if I could ask for anything better than to have this show. and be able
Mm-hmm.
to let you
Yeah.
all share your testimony and,
Yes.
just get people thinking about
Mm-hmm.
becoming organ donors because we know it is not a dinner conversation,
That's right. It's not.
especially in a multicultural community, African American communities. It
Absolutely.
Right.
is not, it's not up for a discussion, because
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
grandparents would tell even now, don't you dare become an organ donor. And we really have to break down the
Mm-hmm.
myths
Right.
about, becoming an organ donor and educate people and let them know that your blood type matters, your
Yes.
weight, your height,
Yes.
you know, all of those things matter.
Yeah.
And, I give the example all the time. If you are, 6'1", 300 pounds, someone 150 pounds could not give you a
Mm-hmm.
heart. So, or they would have to give you two hearts in order to, they'll put those two hearts together to help pump
Mm-hmm.
you. So pump your heart. So that is not the case. Oh, and here's my baby sister showing love, um, to
Hey,
the
girl.
Butler family.
Yeah.
And so I thank you all, Daddy. I'm going to keep it under time, as he so graciously tell me, don't leave it too long now, Shonda. So I want to say, I know he has the nerve. I
I
don't know
know.
what the pastor is telling his daughter, don't be too long. So yeah, yeah, I love my daddy. I feel like I'm a daddy's girl. I look like my mama, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
I'm a
you
true
do look
daddy's
like your
girl.
mom.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I have the best parents ever. And
Yeah.
Yes.
thank you to your children and your son-in-laws and everybody for
Mm-hmm.
just taking care of you all and making sure that everything is great.
Right.
So I'm gonna put you all backstage for a minute and tell the audience thank you, and I'll be
Okay.
back with you also. Y'all stay right there.
Okay.
All right. Thank you again, Butler family, for being a part of Transplant Talk with Nishanda. I'm just so grateful. Every Thursday, I get to come to you and share a new story. And when people reach out to me and say, hey, I want to tell my story, that just blesses me, so much. And I'm willing. So if this is something that you want to do to be able to, tell your story and say what you went through, I would greatly appreciate it. You have an open invitation to Transplant Talk with Nishanda. So once again, tune in next week when my guest will be Mr. Chambers from, you guessed it, Merritt Island. So again, like us on Facebook and make sure that you click the notification. Look for Save 1000 Lives on Facebook as well as Instagram. Okay, so until the next time, I'm your mama, your sister, your daughter, your cousin, your favorite teacher, and your favorite auntie, Nashonda Larimore. Be safe, become an organ donor. God bless you.